The dust has settled on the Riyadh season World Masters of Snooker tournament, so I thought I'd do a quick video summarising my thoughts on the tournament. Starting off with the snooker quickly, of course the tournament was fantastic, the matches were brilliant, but you're always guaranteed that when you have the top 10 players in the world playing together. From the start it was clear that players had been given certain lines or phrases to say because there was a lot of mention about crowds and how great the crowds and the event was in general. The comments from Judd Trump were not received well by a lot of fans because he said that the crowds in Saudi Arabia were better than the crowds back in the UK. I'd be quite disappointed if I was a big Judd Trump fan. Luca Brissell was quoted saying that he doesn't usually say this, but he thought the crowds were really good. I mean, that, like he said, that just shows you how out of character it is. Mark Allen was doing punditry on the first night and his first match was on the Tuesday, and he said he can't wait to get out there and play in an event like this, while the crowd was a quarter to 50% full, and I'm being generous there. It was just before the final, they'd interviewed a fan and they showed it on Eurosport saying that there wasn't an empty seat in the house. I mean, come on. After all these comments, I asked myself, was I watching the same event? I'd happily enough hold my hands up if all of this was true, but it felt very false to me. The golden ball and the 167 break was a really good idea, but I think it was slightly overhyped, and then that made for it being quite underwhelming during the matches, because obviously as soon as the blacks tied up, you're pretty much guaranteed that the golden ball is going to be removed from the table. The idea of the golden ball from the Riyadh season promoters was that this would be a golden ball 167 prize shootout style tournament. I think it would have worked better as a round-robin format in this situation. When you play a knockout-style tournament, people are always going to go for the win rather than the golden ball. However, this dynamic might change after they announce that the prize money for the 167 will be $1 million in the next invitational event. The main problem with the golden ball is snooker isn't played to make a 147. You play it to win the frame, and that's how the players are approaching the tournament, as they should have been. It doesn't take much to tie the black up from the break, so I'm not surprised there weren't more attempts. You could tell after doubling the 167 prize to $1 million after the tournament that they were focused on people making this golden ball maximum break. Alongside this announcement, it was also great to hear that they were investing in a Ronnie O'Sullivan snooker academy in the region. The last point I noted was Eddie Hearn saying that it's great for the globalisation of the sport that snooker went to Saudi Arabia. However, there is only one continental European tournament planned on the tour next season, and I think this tweet sums it up perfectly. If expanding into Saudi Arabia leads to globalisation of snooker, then I'll hold my hands up and say fair play, but it feels more like internal self-promotion rather than globalisation. A snooker event wasn't hosted in Saudi Arabia because of the local demand, it was hosted there because of cash. Overall, it was clearly a well put together event and I enjoyed the snooker. I just think they could tone down on the self-promotion and promote the sport itself. The events in Saudi Arabia are here to stay, and I think the fact that they're under the realms of the WST is a positive for the sport, so the World Championship isn't undermined. I'm interested to see what the Saudi Arabia Snooker Masters will be like at the beginning of the next season, and I hope they focus on the publicity of the sport, not self-promotion. Let me know your thoughts on the tournament in the comments. Be sure to like and follow for daily snooker roundups and news. Thanks for watching.